This is understandable politics. Hello, who spends the most time with you? Your spouse, children, friends, parents? Unlikely. The clear winner is your mobile phone. It's always with you, right? What was once created for convenient communication has now become a tool for control and espionage. They are spying on us through our gadgets. Why and how does this mechanism work? Who benefits from it? And what are the risks of this digital surveillance? Finally, who slipped up? And how did confidential data end up in the media? What we suspected is now proven. It bothered you too, didn't it? Just talk to someone about buying a specific item, and it immediately appears as an ad on your smartphone across various sites and social networks.
One of the most pressing issues that constantly grabs attention is the realization that our devices are spying on us. You sit at home, talk to your friends about something unusual, and shortly after, you start seeing ads for those items online, clearly because your conversation was overheard.
For example, Forbes warned 5 years ago that smartphones actively listen and record every moment of our lives. Journalists claimed that many apps use the smartphone's microphone to record conversations and collect data for advertising purposes.
There are many ways algorithms and artificial intelligence listen to you and then use that data for targeted advertising. We know about popular voice triggers like Hey Siri or Alexa, but these services and apps can have hundreds or thousands of other triggers that activate when you talk about what you like and where you go.
Many major media outlets have highlighted the eavesdropping and even spying. Yes, phones listen to us, and everything we say can potentially be used against us, various authors have noted, but tech giants have long denied it. Could it be otherwise? Who would admit to spying on millions worldwide? For commercial purposes, there were illusions of islands of freedom in our global world, strictly following their loudly proclaimed principles. But it turned out that the so-called shining city on a hill is also not averse to playing with Leshka, and, moreover, sets the tone in this matter. So in fact, they play a double game, but publicly adhere to principles of privacy, information protection, and any freedom, respecting any rights. But in reality, these are now common thoughts. Everyone knows this. Surveillance is conducted on everyone on any device, even on politicians like the Chancellor of Germany. What seemed like conspiracy theory now appears to be reality. The mechanism of user surveillance through their gadget microphones was revealed due to a data leak. The funniest part is that the leak was caused by employees of the company spying on the gadgets. The gadget owners.
The employees of the American media conglomerate Cox Media Group slipped up. Based in Atlanta, it provides broadcasting and digital media services, advertising, and marketing. Revenue exceeds $20 billion. Specialists were preparing confidential information for major clients, but due to negligence, staff leaked slides from an internal presentation. These slides revealed that companies use active listening and artificial intelligence programs to listen to user conversations.
The main clients of such software are mentioned there: Google, Amazon, and Facebook.
A scandalous presentation by one of Meta's marketing partners sheds light on how the company uses intercepted conversations to create targeted ads. The Cox Media Group presentation describes active listening software, which uses artificial intelligence to collect and analyze real-time intent data. The program listens to user conversations through phone, laptop, and smart speaker microphones.
So much for trusting technological progress. Even the program's name speaks for itself. Active listening, meaning active eavesdropping.
When setting up any phone, whether Android or iPhone, you're offered to use a voice assistant, including activating it with a key phrase. This could be OK Google, Hi Siri, or something else. So, your device is always listening to the surrounding world to activate and respond to your question or command at the right moment. Phones have a special chip for this, which listens to the surrounding world, but uses minimal energy so your phone doesn't drain instantly. Note that many budget devices didn't have voice activation until recently and couldn't take commands in standby mode. Such devices are becoming fewer by the day as manufacturers are interested in spreading voice assistants and the advertising model their creators like Google offer.
The goal of such eavesdropping is simple: commerce and more commerce.
For example, in a conversation, you say, "I want to go to Turkey for vacation." Through active listening technology, artificial intelligence selects specific contextual ads for you on websites and social networks, logs your phrase in a special database, and sells it to advertisers. Maintaining such technology is Cox Media Group's primary task.
You've probably encountered this, but if ads used to be tailored to your internet searches, now a phrase spoken near a gadget is recorded. In short, if digital giants know your interests and needs through your phone, they can sell you targeted ads more effectively and profit from satisfied advertisers.
Advertisers then use this data for targeting. If voice or behavior data indicates an intention to buy something, you'll definitely see ads for that item. As Daily Mail writes, this leak is the latest proof in a series of reports confirming phone eavesdropping. These companies use the system as a way to profit.
The shocking leak details the data collection process. It has 6 stages, for example, identifying the digital footprint by users. This includes analyzing your conversations, interests, or online behavior habits. Discuss buying a specific TV with someone? That brand's model will definitely appear on your screen.
You can repeat a phrase a couple of times in the presence of your mobile device or computer. Within minutes, advertising services start showing you search queries on that topic. And the question is only, there's no question whether they collect information or not. They do. The only question is how they use it and whether the information collected about you at some point is needed by any interested parties.
After the information about global eavesdropping, digital market leaders only added to suspicions with their behavior. Google quickly denied any collaboration with CMG and removed all information from its site. Amazon did the same, while Meta is still investigating CMG for service violations.
After this story became public, Google removed the media group from its partner program's site. Some even said they were investigating CMG for service violations. In a comment to 404 Media, one of CMG's major clients denied working with the marketing firm on this program. They also added that they have no plans to do so.
Meanwhile, politics as always comes into play. The same media giant CMG, whose eavesdropping presentation leaked to journalists, actively donates money to Democrats' election campaigns. They also give money to Republicans. But CMG's main clients again are Google, Amazon, and Meta, the top 3 sponsors for Democrats. Draw your own conclusions. I'll give an example of visits by heads of internet corporations to the US President's administration. Even during Obama's time, they or their representatives visited weekly. So, the importance of internet resources was already recognized at the highest level. And the fact that cooperation is conducted between intelligence agencies and these corporations, messengers, social networks, etc., tells us that their influence has already surpassed any traditional media. The political forces of the internet are simply incomparable. So today your device offers you furniture at a good price, and tomorrow this harmless ad will be replaced by direct political propaganda. Ask Mark Zuckerberg and his company Meta. A big scandal erupted in 2018.
Facebook got into a scandal over leaked information to Cambridge Analytica. Zuckerberg's corporation handed over personal data of 50 million users to London political technologists to influence the outcome of the 2016 US elections.
Another former employee, Sandy Parakilas, added fuel to the fire by stating that Facebook simply turned a blind eye to the collection of personal data and messages.
This illusion that there are some intermediaries creating anonymity, that VPN services allow you to maintain it, that the legendary Tor browser allows you to stay anonymous. But for a moment, when Tor was created, it was funded by US military structures, obviously for a reason. And all these information systems, from the perspective of major political decisions, are primarily for monitoring and controlling society, and only secondarily for allowing it to exchange information.
What do you think happened to Facebook and Cambridge Analytica? The British ceased to exist, and Zuckerberg's company lost $40 billion. Painful, but not fatal, with $1 trillion capitalization, and they also went through a cleansing documentary from Netflix.
Alexander Nix intended to create a strong business related to election procedures. After Obama's campaign successfully used data and digital communications, there was a market opportunity to offer these services to Republicans in the US.
Google's privacy issues began with its email service.
At the dawn of Gmail, a scandal erupted when the public learned that Google's algorithms would read all correspondence and extract keywords to show ads. No people snooping in your letters, just robots, but it seemed new and unpleasantly shocking at the time. However, the public made noise and moved on to other pressing issues, while this approach became widespread. Today, apps look for keywords in what you type or say to associate them with you.
By the way, the story that smartphones spy on us without our knowledge has surfaced before, although so openly, of course, for the first time. In 2019, Google admitted to eavesdropping on users' voice queries.
After this story was covered in foreign media, a Google representative had to admit that the company indeed records and listens to users, but does so solely for their benefit, to improve the Google Assistant voice technology. The collected data is supposed to help it better understand people speaking different languages and with different accents, the company said at the time.
That same year, Amazon got caught too.
Bloomberg reported a similar violation by Amazon, which has its own voice assistant, Alexa. It was revealed that Amazon employees not only record conversations, but also listen to them and later post them online for laughs. Additionally, some Alexa users complained that the assistant first recorded their speech and then mistakenly sent it to the user's friends.
Another incident occurred in 2021. Journalists found that Android smartphones save information about your movements through the internal GPS sensor. Your gallery is also duplicated in cloud storage.
Princeton University's computer science department confirmed these findings with their own research. Google knows your entire movement history with your phone down to the minute. Moreover, it sends all this information to servers, even if your internet is off. Google's official website states that if you disable location settings, visited places will be saved. But that's not entirely true. Google saves your location data with timestamps without your consent. If you only go to the nearest store and walk around the house, such surveillance would be a waste of time. But few people are comfortable with the fact that they are being watched.
The phone records everything, including when and which stores you visited. Researchers have confirmed that even in sleep mode, an Android smartphone transmits its location information 340 times.
There is no total eavesdropping on everything, only a reaction to certain words. But this is the case with American corporations, and only for mobile devices powered by batteries. It's a different story if there is power from the grid. For example, if the phone is charging or you have a smart speaker, they can go all out and listen to you non-stop, analyze conversations, extract different phrases and words, and try to understand the context. You need to realize that the manufacturer already knows a lot about you, and further analysis of conversations allows them to better understand your needs and show you ads that might interest you.
Of course, users have repeatedly complained and tried to sue, but the French managed to fine Google 50 million euros. However, the company refused to provide a transparent report of its activities even to the court.
Google has hidden all information about the collection of personal data from people as much as possible, and if you can find this information somewhere, it is not accurate. Users simply cannot comprehend the full scale of this surveillance. More than 2 billion people on Earth are subject to total surveillance through Android devices. Google knows about each of their movements. Google knows about all the queries these people have entered. Google knows about all the videos you have watched. Google knows everything you have written to your friends. Through Android devices, information about your bank cards, phone numbers, addresses, names, and so on is collected.
Just imagine the scale. Users literally live under the corporation's watch. And now it's time to remember the news from 2008. Back then, no one paid much attention to it.
The U.S. intelligence agency acquired mini Google hardware search servers, reports the San Francisco Chronicle. In addition to storing documents, the servers will be used to search for information within the government network. With the help of Mini Google, the U.S. administration intends to optimize the work of law enforcement agencies within telepedia.
And 5 years later, Google explained that yes, the cooperation program is much broader than the government network. And around the same time, Edward Snowden revealed how much the U.S. intelligence agencies store from the internet. From our devices,
all the information that is entered into these services sooner or later ends up in huge storage on huge servers accessible to American intelligence agencies. Another question is that here and now, roughly speaking, the interests of the average Russian may not be of interest to them. But on the other hand, we understand that Western designers are also not asleep. And let's say the technologies of the same color revolutions are constantly being upgraded. The latest upgrade we saw was the Belarusian events of 2020, the Kazakh events of January 2022.
But iPhone owners, don't worry. Your phones are just as much under surveillance. 5 years ago, there was a scandal with this major brand as well. A vulnerability was found in the walkie-talkie app that allowed iPhones to be listened to without the owner's consent. The company acknowledged the bug and apologized for the inconvenience.
Large corporations often do this without users' permission. For example, in 2019, Apple admitted that it had been listening to phones for years to improve Siri. That same year, Google also admitted to similar unauthorized listening. The goal was quite harmless, improving language recognition, but for users whose conversations were listened to for a long time, this is little consolation.
In general, it's not a bad idea to pay attention to information hygiene and the apps you install on your phone. Convenience and habit with smartphones won't let you give them up, but you should clearly understand that the gadget is not our close friend. It's just a means of cautious communication, including with you, without your knowledge. So security is the #1 issue. Today they offered you to buy a t-shirt, and tomorrow they might send you instructions for a Molotov cocktail. Goodbye.